Now, more than 8 months into the war, the Ukrainian forces have now managed to recapture Kherson. This is a region that was captured by Russia in the early weeks of the war, with troops and people celebrating the success with tears and joy.
Цю єбану підарську тряпку, сука, смердючу. Давай, брат, рви її. Але самих гарних закатів.
This, of course, was a symbolic and also an emotional moment for a lot of these soldiers who, of course, turned up in big numbers, and they were welcomed by cheering crowds as they made their way into the city of Kherson. Now remember, Kherson is extremely geopolitically sensitive and strategically important. It in fact opens a gateway and access into Crimea. Now, Kherson's strategic importance cannot be overestimated at this point of time militarily, because this has now clearly handed the Ukrainians a clear pass into the Crimean Peninsula, which could be the next phase of war. Meanwhile, the United Nations has held talks with Russian officials over the Black Sea Grain Initiative. However, the talks over the agreement that deals with the grain and fertiliser exports ended without a breakthrough. Now, two agreements brokered by the United Nations and Turkey were signed on the 22nd of July. The first was to allow the export of Ukrainian grain that was blocked by Russia, and the other was on the export of Russian food and fertilisers, despite the Western sanctions that have been imposed on Moscow following its invasion of Ukraine. Now, the 120-day Black Sea Grain Initiative runs out on the 19th of November, and the United Nations is seeking to renew it for 1 year. Moscow, however, has not confirmed whether it will agree to that. Meanwhile, Russia has sanctioned at least about 200 US citizens, banning their entry into the country. The exhaustive list includes the siblings of the American President Joe Biden, several senators and top officials, businessmen and many other experts. Now, the Russian Foreign Ministry has also alleged their involvement in the promotion of the Russophobic campaign and support for the regime in Kiev. Now, amongst those listed are Biden's sister Valerie and brothers James and Francis. Now, the White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, as well as the Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, have also been sanctioned. The Western nations, including the United States, remember, have slapped Russia with a slew of unprecedented sanctions over its offensive in Ukraine. In retaliation, Russia has already barred at least about 1,000 citizens from entering into the country. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.